Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to order the October 27th Finance, Audit, and Budget Committee meeting. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda.
Adopts the agenda.
Motion from Commissioner Romano, support from Commissioner Lucido. Seeing no changes to the agenda, commissioners, please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. Next is item 4, approval of minutes. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes dated October 22nd, 2025.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Goyke, support from Commissioner Van Sickle. Seeing no comments or questions on the minutes, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Next is public participation. This is the first opportunity for public participation for those who wish to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on anything on today's agenda. Anybody from the public wishing to speak? Going once. Nobody's jumping up, so we'll close the first public participation. There is one more before the end of the meeting, and we will move on to budget reviews. Commissioners, as you can see, we have a scroller today, so we're going to be here for a while. So for those presenting, for the directors, I would appreciate your brevity. For commissioners, I would appreciate your questions to be direct and to the budget so we can get through this in a timely manner for everybody. And with that, I'll take a motion to receive and file items A, B, C, D, and E.
So moved.
Support, Perna.
Motion from Commissioner Haas, support from Commissioner Perna. First up is going to be the clerk, Register of Deeds. Clerk Forlini is here. Commissioners, we will go page by page, so we will start with budget page C21, and I will turn it over to Clerk Forlini.
Well, for brevity, I'm going to skip any kind of a presentation, partly because I turned my stuff in today. They won't put the presentation up. So as a result, I'm going to just go ahead. I'll bring some of the stuff back another time, but if you want to get right into the budget, we'll go ahead and get right into the budget.
Perfect. Thank you, Clerk. Yep, we will look forward to getting your presentation. We'll start with C21, your office's budget. If there's anything you wish to speak about, any highlights?
Well, I guess the biggest thing I want to highlight is our budget, for the most part, really hasn't changed from last year. We kept it, we got a pretty good, I think, great streamlined operation, and we've kept all our appointments under 5 minutes. That when people come in to see us, it is totally turnkey. You got won 2 national awards, I'll remind everybody again, for operational efficiency and for innovation. So I'm pretty happy with where we're sitting right now with the budget and with what we proposed. We're very comfortable going into the next year.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Commissioners, are there any questions? Chair Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Clerk, good afternoon. It's always nice seeing a budget when it's the exact same number from the previous year. All I can say is well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I don't see any more speakers, so we will move on to the Civil Service Commission, page C20. This one's pretty straightforward. Commissioners, any questions? Clerk, any comments?
No, I believe in that budget, the only thing that changed was the board themselves had an increase in their, I think it was their per diem. That was the only thing that changed.
Yep, perfect. All right, seeing no questions on that one, we'll move on to elections, page C28. Obviously, next year we have a couple big elections to pay for and run and oversee.
Yeah, we had, actually, the finance had recommended 600,000. We went back and looked at the printing costs that we had the last time we had this type of an election and reduced that number down by 100,000 for ballot printing costs.
Clerk, I guess I have a question about the early voting. I know that's more for the local communities in terms of staff time and things like that, but how does that affect our staff and our budget in terms of, a lot of it's on a Saturday, so are we paying overtime for our staff to be on duty and available?
I don't believe we have anything for overtime in any of those. Early voting is during the day for the most part, so we don't have anything we've allocated for that.
Perfect.
And we've been able to save some overtime on how we operate. In the past, they'd come in 2 hours before the start of the day, stay all the way through until the wee hours of the night. And now I don't have them coming in the morning. We have one person that does come in case there's an issue. And at 4:30, I send them home for a couple hours, get some rest, and then they come back at 8 o'clock. So we've saved a lot of overtime just in those little tweaks here and there.
Good. That's helpful. And it's helpful to the staff who aren't getting
Yeah, they're
burnt out.
human.
It's
They're
long
human.
days.
Right.
All right, I see no other speakers, so we will move off of the elections page and head to Jury Commission, page C43. This one's usually pretty easy too.
I just make some notes on that aren't reflected necessarily in this budget, but we made some changes in the jury room. Monica Rittner, who's headed that, actually, they'll see savings in other budgets like finance and treasury, probably together saved over $20,000 just in postage costs and handling costs, based on a few of the changes we made.
That's great. Thank you, Clerk Forlini. Are there any questions on this budget page? Commissioner Goike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Ferlini. Where the jurors get paid, for the coming at $15 or $20 a day, where does that show up on the budget?
Yeah, good question. It's a court budget.
It's not reflected in this budget.
It's not in okay.
Pay is not, no.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner Goike. Any other questions on Jury Commission budget page? I see none. We'll move on to the concealed pistol license page. That's going to be D5.
The only thing there from us is just the postage rate increase and some minor printing costs.
Clerk Forlini, the permits and fees, is that set at the state level or is that something that we set here?
I think that's all state. Yeah,
I think so too.
yeah.
I'm just testing you. Because nobody else has a question, so I got to give you something.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're looking at some of these costs on mailings and whatnot, what we can do and we're working on that right now, as a matter of fact, that you'll see maybe in next year's budget. I think we're going to have a few things we're going to be able to change. We're not charging for postage, which we probably should as we're mailing things out that we don't have to mail out. So
That's another question I was going to have. Do you have to physically mail everything out, or can you do some email or some other option?
we look at all those options all the time, but most things have to be mailed out.
Figured as much.
Yeah.
Commissioner Romano.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Forlini.
Good afternoon,
How are you,
Commissioner.
sir?
Good.
You look good.
Thank you.
Just a question, if I may. On your license and permits, it's staying constant for 25, 26, 27, 28, 450,000. Why
Which
is it
budget?
staying constant, not fluctuating?
Which budget?
License and permits. It started in 2024 for $523,900. Then in 2025, it went to 450. 2026 is 450. 2027 is 450, and 2028 is 450. Why is it staying constant, not fluctuating?
So those are just what we're budgeting for taking in revenue. We always take in more. I mean, we can change that line item if we want, but I have no idea from year to year. How the revenue that's generated here goes into the concealed pistol fund. The difference will show up in the fund balance at the bottom of the line, which is, this whole process operates outside of the general fund.
And when you close that down at the end of the year, you'll have a,
Yeah, at the end of the year.
so as of this being, well, actually November,
I'm sure we're well over $450,000.
That's my question. Thank you.
But the reason that it fluctuates is because it's a 4-year renewed license. So in a particular year that a lot of people come and get a new license, 4 years from then, our revenue goes up because there's more people coming in to renew the license they already have.
That's on a rotating basis, so you couldn't say just every 4 years.
Exactly,
Okay,
right.
I got it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Brian, thank you. We are good with that page. I see no other questions, so we'll jump to the Register of Deeds on page C56.
Any questions?
It's perfect. Jennifer's laughing and smiling and excited she doesn't have to come up. Commissioners, any questions on the Register of Deeds page? Chair Sabatini is trying frantically to push his button. Go ahead.
Just a quick question. Clerk, just in regards to like charges for services in your department. So I know obviously some of your charges are based on state statute, so you can't raise fees. But in some of your charges and all your budgets, have you raised fees in the last 5 to 10 years for any services in the department?
Yeah, I believe the marriage certificates on rewrites, we increased that. The postage is really what we're looking at, that, you know, if we gotta mail some of these things out, you know, people do pick things up, same cost as if we mail it out. There's a
Right.
huge savings if they were to come pick it up, particularly since we're turning people around pretty quick, and we can set up a system where they can come in and just pick it up should they wish. So I'm real big right now in looking at those kinds of things to bring in additional revenue. I had it in the presentation somewhere where, you know, the money we collect is substantial that goes out. Register of Deeds actually turns over, I think it's $63,000 last year back to the general fund, a positive over our operation costs. You know, CPLs, you know, self-serving within themselves. Not having to come to the board for anything. So we're looking at still ways that we can, I'm not saying make a profit, but just cover costs a little bit better. And postage is one of the glaring areas in my mind.
Obviously, it's out of your control, right? I mean, postage is postage, so.
Right. But we've done a few things to, you know, like I said, the jury room, that was a huge, we saved 46% over last year in postage costs that we don't see ourselves, but other departments saw. And how we operate, we're doing a debit card that they get, so there's no postage going out, there's no processing within finance. Took a big load off their shoulders, and everything gets done a little bit more streamlined. The cost was, like I said, about $24,000 in savings.
So I know one of the positions that you had asked for with IT, with the business, I believe it's business analyst position. How does that position help your department and all these different pieces?
Oh, it's amazing how many different pieces we have within our own department, between vital records, register of deeds, the courts, the jury room. It is amazing how many issues we run into almost daily with IT. It's a substantial operation. Most departments have one issue that they're dealing with. With us, it's all over the place. And so having that person, you know, I'm fortunate I got a deputy register of deed that's pretty tech savvy. But for her time, all of her time to be taken up on emergencies, face it, when we have an issue, when the computers are down, we have people waiting there to get things taken care of. They have people in the lobby, and we have to move on it quick and come up with solutions quick. And this person is critical, I mean, on all fronts, everything we do.
So do you have anybody right now from IT that is directly working with the clerk's office, or is this
Yeah,
new?
I think we got a loaner. That's what you call him. We got a loaner that's in there, and he's busy every day. I mean, very busy. It's crazy. You think software would have saved us, you know, technology saved us some time, and it has, but when it goes down, we're kaput. There's no.
And it looks
pencil
like
and
you've got
paper.
a few IT-related matters in the capital plan that you've asked for, the ENS upgrade, property spine, expansion, some other things. Would this person be working on that, or would?
All the
they-
above.
Okay. And are there any other, let me just get to that page here in the budget. Looks like it's all IT related. Okay, great. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Seeing no other speakers on the Register of Deeds page, we will move to Remonumentation, D34.
Again, on remonumentation, it's been a couple of years, we're just in maintenance mode. So, and that's all grant funded.
And that's never going to end.
Probably not. I mean, it's wise to keep that going because there's always construction going on. There's something happening. There's roads that get put in or roads that get replaced and our monuments are taken out, right? So to keep that accuracy going, I think it's important for the whole population between real estate agents or surveyors, everybody involved, road builders, they all need this. And it makes it much more efficient when everything's right.
Absolutely. All right, I see no speakers on this page, so we will move to the Technology Fund, page D35. Any highlights, Clerk?
Any questions? No, that's
Any questions from
straightforward.
commissioners? Commissioner Ha?
Thank you, Chair. Tony, I would just like to say with the amount of cross work that you do with the multitude of departments in Macomb County, your department is a shining example of how we should be functioning within the county, utilizing the resources to maximum effort to try and get all of the various functions done. So congratulations to you and your staff.
Appreciate it. A lot of things we're doing are optional things that we do because we know it's going to be better for possibly other departments, making our lives a little bit easier somewhere down the road. So we got a lot of good things that we've put in place, and I appreciate the comment.
Thank you. That's all I have, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Howard?
Thanks, Chair. I was having an issue with my button earlier, so I just have two quick questions. One, with some of your services are mandated, like the fee schedules are mandated by the state. Concealed permits is just an example. Does the labor that your department puts into that, is that covered under that $100 fee? Is that $100 fee enough, or are those fees from the state not cover everything that?
Specifically for CPLs, it actually, we're at a net positive every year.
Okay. You guys were so
We do
efficient.
we do
with that.
30 to 50 a day.
Yeah. It was
It's crazy.
pretty fast how efficient you guys are in that office when I had to go up there. My other question is just, I'm looking at the budget page and just looking at contractual services is pretty high. Can you just give a brief explanation on, we're looking at 2023, it was about $500,000, and now in 2025, it is $1 million. Can you just kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. Bring Brian up here.
Yeah, so the contractual services part of the tech fund is the change in the amount you see there is a reflection of us doing the track index project. I will say that going forward into the future, I have made an error on the budget submissions for like 27 and 28. That number is actually going to come down, not go up. And so I just put the same number year over year, which is how most of our budgets have worked, other than maybe elections, because it fluctuates between presidential or a non-presidential where the costs are very diverse across multiple years. So as we wrap up the project with the track index, that amount of money that we're spending currently, which is about $500,000, is gonna like plummet. So if you look down across, you'll see that as of today's date, our fund balance is just a little bit short of $2.1 million. You see that it looks like we're gonna go in the negative, but that really isn't going to happen because we're gonna stop spending that big amount under contractual services. So that's the
The
explanation.
track index expenses were one-time expenses for development or work that was done. They're not going to continue out over the future.
Yeah, thank you so much. There's just, with all the departments, there's, contractual service and repairs and maintenance are typically very large ones with not, at least from my perspective, not great explanations. So I appreciate that. That is a great explanation. Thank you so
Yep,
much.
and I just would like to add, if you look at our regular general fund register of deeds budget on the position numbers, you'll see at the bottom of the page that we have gradually lost positions on the general fund. That's because we move those positions into this fund so that we are actually, as we progress with this, we are able to save the county general fund dollars because we're able to move general funded positions onto this fund. So if you look at our register of deeds general fund budget, you'll see that we've dropped 2 or 3 positions over the last 5 years. They've come into this budget.
Of course, along those same lines, we have to justify it too. The work that they do has to qualify.
Right.
Yeah, thank you
Can't
so
move
much.
the whole department onto it.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Chair Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, this is a question for finance for Vicky and team. Vicky, in regards to this budget, next year, we're going to start seeing a negative fund balance in it by end of year. And I know the last budget we just looked at, the Register of Deeds has a negative fund balance. How are we, how do we want to do this going forward? Showing a negative fund balance in some of these funds? Or is this something where we're going to start transferring general funds in here to zero them out? This is more kind of a, not specifically to the clerk and his budgets, but I've seen them in some other budgets. I just don't know what we're taking is kind of that course going forward.
Let's address it with our department first.
Okay.
Yeah, so that goes to what I was just saying. So the anticipation is that this fund is not going to go negative on the tech fund. Now, on the Register of Deeds general fund budget, I will say that if you look at the trend over the last several years, we have always turned over a positive revenue to the general fund through the Register of Deeds. The reason we aren't going to next year is because on our prediction for revenue, we don't see that dramatic of an increase of the number of documents we're recording, so property transactions. So y'all need to sell your property and buy new property so that we can get more money, and that just hasn't happened over the last 5 or 6 years. I think it's a reflection of the economy. It's a reflection of people scared to get out of their house. It's a reflection of how expensive real estate is and how it's skyrocketed. So the majority of the revenue that we generate in Register of Deeds comes from a document that gets filed at the counter. You guys, our general budget gets $21 for every document. That's been stagnant. So on that budget, we may go into the negative if we don't increase, the number of recordings that are coming in. We're averaging between 100 and 120,000 over the last 5 years of documents. I will tell you, 10 years ago, we had 300,000 documents that were recorded. So the revenue that we brought in to the general fund was twice what it is currently today. And that all goes to the general fund. So we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. I mean, we don't have that's another thing we don't have control over. But this tech fund, we do not expect to go ever in the negative. We're very conscious of that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. If Brian can find me my interest rate, I'll move tomorrow. Got a new house.
Well, and I think for years, we saw interest rates be on a steady decline for many, many, many years. And for the first time, a couple of years ago, interest rates went up. And that kind of if you're in the real estate business, you know what that caused.
All right, Clerk Forlini and team, you're all set. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Now we'll move on to item B, which is the courts, and we will start with Chief Judge James Biernat to speak on the Circuit Court, which is going to be on budget page C19.
Can you hear me now? Should I scream?
You're okay.
All right, so everybody, well, there's some new commissioners. I was just going to go right into if there's any questions, but I'm Judge James Biernet, Chief of Macomb Circuit, Probate, and the District Courts out in New Baltimore and Romeo. I'm just going to introduce some people and give you some idea the whole vastness of the court system. Our budget's about $63 million. There's 332 employees. To my right is Julie Bovishin. She is our court administrator. She oversees, basically she oversees all the departments, all the employees, and policy that go with it. John Brennan, our probate administrator. John, if you could stand up. John oversees, he's the court administrator for probate, which of course includes the mental health code and wills and estates. There's approximately 35 employees in the probate court. And we have Nicole Folds. Nicole represents, she's the administrator over at the juvenile. She's a juvenile administrator. She handles all related juvenile delinquency. And there's approximately 81 employees in her department. And Linda Harrison, to my left, is our deputy court administrator. She oversees a number of departments we have, including self-help and our court IT. There's 75 people in the court administration for civil criminal division. That's what she oversees. There's Brian Nicholas. If you could please stand, Brian. Brian, Mr. Nicholas is our administrator over Friend of the Court. Friend of the Court is, so we have out of the 15 civil criminal judges that we have, 4 of them are assigned to the family division. They oversee everything from child custody, divorce, enforcing the orders, and everything that goes along with it. And that whole system is run by the Front of the Court, which encompasses 109 employees. Then Dara Solonik is not here. She's the court administrator out in Romeo. District courts, as you know, they deal with civil cases that are under $25,000 and misdemeanors that are no more than up to a year in the county jail, and felonies that eventually come to circuit court. In Romeo, in New Baltimore, there's 17 people, 17 employees or 18 employees, and in Romeo, Karen Grazel's here from New Baltimore, and there's about 17 employees there. We also have Susan Sabal, our not Sable, Sabo, who's our court finance director. Diana Riccabona is our court finance manager for juvenile. Marion Denowith is here. She's our deputy court administrator, our deputy probate court administrator, and Jackie Schultz is our circuit court legal director. So that's, in a nutshell, the court system in Macomb County, funded by the county. And any questions you have with respect to our budget, we're happy to answer.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Judge, we do have a couple questions. We'll turn it over to Commissioner Romano.
Thank you, Chair. Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
Well, you brought the troops today, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Well, I'm looking here at your personnel department, and you're looking for 2 new people. One is in supervisory capacity or manager, and the other one is clerical. Can you tell me where they're going, what they're going to do?
Well, we have the office assistant senior. That's going to be a position that is going to help with the self-help center.
I'm sorry?
So the self-help center is the center that we have. It's on the 3rd floor that helps people who essentially represent themselves in cases or needs help from the court. And right now we have a part-time. Yeah, we only have part-time employees there right now. We were asking for 1 full-time.
So how many part-time employees are doing the self-help now?
Go ahead.
There's 3 part-time employees right now. We had an initial startup grant that allowed for that, but it was a 1-year startup grant. We have a grant that is pending, but we haven't heard whether or not we're going to actually get that money. In terms of the full-time employee, we need continuity. The part-time people kind of come and go, and we have interns that are very helpful, but we're very dependent on that volunteer presence, and it's not a consistent service for the county without the full-time person there. This past year, we had 6,500 visitors come to the center that needed help. They come in and they're either pro per in civil proceedings, they're victimized or that kind of thing. They're not in a position where they're entitled to court-appointed counsel, but they seriously need help. And so it's a service that we've been able to provide for the community. Over the past year, we've been able to increase the services by a technology grant that we asked you to add, which has been effective. But without this full-time position, it's like now that we had the startup, there's like a boom, and we could lose that community service.
And the grant that's pending that you're hoping for is for how much?
It's to just continue the budget, the 3 positions.
The grant will satisfy 3 positions?
Part-time.
It's a $75,000 grant.
That's what I wanted to hear. Okay. That's all I have, Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Howard.
Hey, Chief, questions along the same line. So in your supplemental page, the office assistant, senior part-time up to 4, that's the grant that you're speaking about?
It's a full-time position.
No, no.
Supplemental page, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then, do you guys know when you're gonna find out whether we're gonna get that grant or not?
We hope next week. We talked to the state court administrator's office today, and they anticipate we'll know next week. Everything got delayed with the state budget getting delayed.
Understand. And then reading through your supplementals and your you have in the status of 2025 goals. One of them is speaking towards the implementation of juvenile justice reform legislation. Can you just speak towards that?
Sorry, that was on the supplemental. Yeah, for our goals. Oh, got it. As you know, last year, there were some changes around juvenile justice reform. They changed the structure of the Childcare Fund to increase our reimbursement for community-based services from 50% to 75%. And so we're still working on developing programming in the community to meet the needs of the kids that we serve. Specifically, right now, we're about to embark on a big partnership with Community Mental Health to provide an intensive program in the community for kids that we serve, also increasing our diversion programming and working through some community partnerships this year.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Chair Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Judge. Hi, team. So just kind of looking at staffing here really quick. So it looks like you've got about 15 positions right now that are vacant that you're working with HR to fill. How challenging are these positions to fill? I mean, how have you been struggling with this for a while? Like, because that's a lot of positions to be trying to fill. And I mean, they're all over the board, whether it's 2023, 24, 25. So
I think, well, go ahead. Do you want to?
That's fine. We just have high turnover in a lot of our entry-level positions, whether they're moving on to a new location or they get promoted within the department. Front of the court has a lot of steps, so sometimes you come in as an office assistant, then you move up to an office assistant senior, but it creates a constant hiring because of that. So we just see a lot of movement and turnover that creates vacancies.
So I'm going to just pick one. So is it a recorder secretary, circuit court? That one's been vacant since January of 2023.
So with that position, you have to be a CER, a certified electronic recorder. We struggle with finding people who have that certification or are able to pass the test within 6 months of getting the position.
It's not the bar exam, but I wouldn't want to take it. So a lot of people don't, it's surprising how many people do not pass or how difficult it is, but, yeah.
So some of these positions have certification, so you'll hire them with a contingency based on within so many months they have to pass and have that certification. Otherwise, you cannot keep that employee, basically, right? What do we do as a county when we hire somebody to help them get that certification?
We do pay for the training program and we pay for them to take the test. But other than that, that's all we are able to do. There's not, I mean, besides them taking the course to pass it, I don't have any other resources for that.
Okay. So some of your conferences and training, just kind of looking through that. So in your conferences and training budget, we have those types of trainings to help facilitate hiring those types of employees.
Correct.
To fill those gaps.
And those employees now have to have certain credits. Is it all the same 24?
Oh, that's the CLEs for judicial officers. That's a statutory, that's another reason for our conference line item is all of our judicial officers are required to have continuing legal education. So that's all of our judges, all of our magistrates, all of our referees.
Okay.
So that just went into effect. This is the first 2-year span.
So it's continued education.
So that's something new
Yes.
that started?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 24 credits. So the judges have to go back to school, apparently.
Just what you wanted to do. Right?
He's enjoying it, yes.
So just a couple other quick questions. So in your revenue for the circuit court, it looks like your charges for services increased by about $50,000. Is there any specific reason why your charges are increasing?
Is that for transcripts? No.
Susan, do you know?
That was actually a revenue we were already taking in for late fees, garnishment fees, some other miscellaneous fee revenue. And we hadn't budgeted for it previously, so I decided we needed to put a budget number in there because we are bringing in that dollar amount.
Okay, and then what about the reimbursements? That's new this year, the 137.5?
That is through our Court of Appeals, the appellate court. When did that change? I can't remember, last year. So they have a new program where they reimburse us half. We pay the whole appellate bill for the appellate attorneys. We send it back to the state, they reimburse half of it. So
Okay.
that is accounting for that reimbursement.
Got it. And then your position increased to 2 FTEs that you're looking for specific to the grant that you're talking about that's in limbo? Or is there another position in there that's not related to the grant?
Oh, but,
Yeah, one for the grant and one the chief is gonna talk about.
yeah, so the one office senior assistant, then one communications manager.
Okay, so we have, 2 additional FTEs that are not related to the grant, correct?
Right.
No, one.
But just the one, and then
Communications director,
that's not connected to the grant, and the other one is.
the other one is, okay. Got it. All right, and then last question I have is, in regards to your capital plan. So there's a number of things in your capital plan, whether it's, let's just talk IT here for a minute. So you've got, looks like you're looking for a new courts AV technology upgrade for $2.5 million. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
So that's been in the works for a few years now. We've had a committee reviewing our system. We have a bid ready to go out this year to put it out to bid to see what other options are out there. The biggest concern that county IT has is that our current system, FTR, has not signed the CJIS agreement, which is a security agreement with the government. And they insist that they are not required to because they believe they have better security. And JACO has indicated we cannot continue with this vendor if they will not sign
And
it.
I think he's talked to the CEO.
Yes.
I mean, we've had with the same FTR for how long?
At least 10 years.
For 10 years. So, and then the county IT has said they need to sign, and I'm assuming Corporation Counsel was involved and why they, and this company refuses to sign the contract.
So are we forced to change because they will not sign, and that's why we're being hit with this $2.5 million ask?
Right.
That's correct.
Right.
Okay. And then on the capital side as well, excuse me, on the building project request here, we have a holding cell renovation for $1.1 million. Can you talk about that?
That is in the basement of the court building where they bring in the prisoners and they're hold until they bring them up to the courtroom. The cells haven't been replaced, the doors haven't been replaced in 30 years, and so it's, they're getting stuck and aren't as efficient, so Ben included that this year, and he said you could speak to him directly on it. He has more information than I do, but
So we haven't touched it in 30 years, you said?
that is what he told me.
I don't know what to say to that. Okay. It's a tough one because, I mean, we're dealing with a lot of these infrastructure issues and things are just, like this building. Almost as we got a brand new building, it's 25 years old. So it's tough dealing with all these types of requests on the infrastructure side. And we're just trying to solve all those problems right now. So thank you, Chair. Thank you, Judge and team.
Thank you. It's a common theme around here. I think my question might be a Vicky question. Judge, on the supplemental spreadsheet, one of the sections is capital expenditures planned over the next 3 years. And you guys have on there update furniture and blinds throughout the court building facility and district courts. There is a line item in the capital improvement plan for countywide furniture fund. I'm guessing those are two different things and it's not all coming out of that fund. But I also don't see that specifically in our capital improvement plan.
Good afternoon.
Hi,
So
Becky.
that is one of the items where we put furniture and combined it in that 260,000.
So it is in there.
So
Okay.
yes, that is part I'm keeping track. I have a separate internal list. I think there were maybe 5 departments that had specific furniture requests and not related to other funding, like grants. So that's part of that 260.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you. And I see no other speakers, so we're good with the circuit court for now. Thank you. We'll move on to page C24, which is my district court in New Baltimore. Chief, did you want to speak to that one, or are we going to have Karen come up, or both?
Karen, come up.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Any highlights, anything specific to touch on?
I don't think so. We have a couple requests that we've asked for. Interpreters is always a line item that we are asking to increase. And the furniture we did touch on, but that's in another, that's in the other one, so.
Perfect. Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Carabelli's not here anymore. He was always the one that was attacking my court, so we have no questions. You're all set. Thank you very much.
Good point, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I haven't. And we'll move on to page C25, the district court in Romeo. I know you said Dara's not here, Chief, so is there anything you wanted to highlight?
I think that,
Similarly, she just has a few operational line items that she increased. It's really pretty small, so I'm not sure if there's any questions.
Commissioners, any questions on the district court in Romeo? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to family counseling, which is going to be page C35.
all right.
Any highlights
Any,
here?
any questions? We have,
Let's see.
Brian? You wanna go?
Questions from commissioners? I see none. We'll move on to the law library, which is usually the easiest one. C45. It still exists? We still have a law library?
We do.
We do.
It's in the court building on the 3rd floor.
All right, I don't see any speakers for
We have some
that.
real books too there, that you can actually touch.
Are they dusty? No. We'll move on to probate court, budget page C47. I know you said John's here. John's chomping at the bit to get up here and speak. John, any highlights for us?
No, the real,
Step up to the microphone, please.
the real ask this year again is going to be for an employee. We've added the 3rd judge. That increases all the functions with that. We've got 5 clerical positions that we eliminated and rolled everything into one job classification, a deputy register. So it's kind of, this person will be doing a little bit of everything, actually.
Perfect. Thank you, John. Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. Between 24 and 25, there was a step up. Was that in personnel? Was that for Judge Hall's court?
Yes,
And is his court fully staffed now?
yes, it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Any other commissioners on the probate court page? Okay. You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to,
And of course, with probate, Judge Hall needs a home eventually.
Eventually.
There-
He has a closet. That's the problem. He needs an actual home. We've given him the closet. We'll move on to circuit court programs, which is going to be D3 and D4. Commissioner Haw.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Judge. Just a quick question, and I'm going to ask Brian the same question next. I should have asked Tony. There's the proposal that's been widely publicized for the establishment of a specialty court for child support. I'm sure you've seen it. We've sat in meetings
Right.
together. We've discussed it. Our second committee meeting got canceled due to an illness, I think. If that, it's not if, it looks like it is established already. Is there any additional resources that are going to be committed by your departments across the spectrum of the whole judge network here?
In
that
other
are
words,
gonna
will we be
required?
asking you to fund something in the future for it?
Say that again?
So if there is a specialty, we do have the specialty court that's, we're moving forward with. Judge Terry Lynn Dennings will be the judge for that court. And eventually, we would need someone to administer that court. Now, right now, we're using Christina Wolfield, but she's the actual director over all of the whole specialty courts. So we would have to have someone assigned specifically to that specialty court to be the director of that coordinator of that court. Because she is the coordinator of all the courts, of all the specialty courts. So she's over, so they
I'm hearing
report.
you correctly, there would be an additional resource request. Is that what I'm
believe-
hearing?
Yes.
We
Okay.
wanted to try the pilot first to see how it goes, and then we would probably be back to ask for a coordinator if we see a successful pilot.
Well, it looks like we are committed to it. I want to make sure that, in fact, being committed to it, it works properly. And I know Brian's committed to it, so I'm going to ask him the same question in about 10 minutes, maybe less. So the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Chair Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. I thought I had someone before me. So this is probably more of a finance question, but the transfers in for the general fund, this fund, Vicky, has revenue. I mean, it's a healthy fund balance. Why are we transferring in general fund dollars when we have basically fund balance?
Everybody's looking at somebody.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
And as Dave Steitler, within this program area, there are some programs that require county match.
There are.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, that's the list of expenditures by service. So some of those services require the match.
Yes.
There's just certain ones that do, not all of them, just specific grants. What,
The adult drug court.
that's the
That's the
only
one.
one? So that's literally like a 50% match? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Question for me is going to be where the expenditures by service are listed out, with the drug courts and mental health courts, et cetera. There's a line for JUV CPLR grant, which drops about $75,000. I'm guessing JUV is for juvenile. What does the CPLR stand for? Nicole, I tried to give you a little bit of a head start.
It's the Child and Parent Legal Representation Grant. So it dropped, our allocation dropped.
Is that all from the state? or
Yes,
is that-
it's federal funds passed through the state, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, I see no other questions from commissioners on this page, so
Look again.
we better look again. I'm hitting the button.
Hit it again.
Commissioner Romano sounds like he really wants to speak. Go ahead.
Doesn't she?
I see you now. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Judge, on the intergovernmental revenues, you're dropping from, I see 2023 at 846, you're down to, well, in 2027, 580. Why does it keep dropping? Revenue, top line, intergovernmental.
This is just the reduction in the grant money. Susan? Yes.
So that's just, go ahead.
As our grants get reduced, it just.
I'm sorry?
As our grants are reduced, so just how Nicole spoke to her grant being, her allocation of that grant being reduced by half, that total number gets reduced down.
So when you don't get the grant, but this is something that's continuing on, so I take it the grant's all done. It started in, excuse me, 2023. Is that when the grant started and it just kept being reduced? I don't understand.
Yeah, some of our grants, like her CPLR, am I saying the acronym right? It was reduced by a significant amount of money. So the program, we use different programming, or we aren't providing that anymore.
There also was a one-time grant, a new one, the diversion status. Nicole, I don't know if you want to speak about it again, for $100,000 in 2026, but that's a one-time.
That's a one.
So you wouldn't see it going forward. That's why it looks like it goes up and down. We do have one-time grants that come in, and then they're done.
So that's why it'll be reduced by almost 100,000 in 2027 because the $100,000 grant's going away.
It's a one-time.
Got it. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Okay, now seeing no other questions, we'll move on to front of the court, which is going to be pages D11 and 12. Brian, any highlights for us before Commissioner Hall asks you a question?
Yeah, I would just direct everyone to the capital outlay section. That's about $600,000. That is actually part of the $2.5 million technology upgrade for the courtrooms. I have the ability to ask the federal government for reimbursement, but they're very specific that I have to break it down to specifically a cost only associated with the front of the court and the child support program. So that is what we're estimating for the 8 hearing rooms at the front of the court. I can ask for 65% reimbursement of my CRP. I've talked to my biller. We're pretty confident that'll be successful. And the other 35% I'm going to pull out of another federal fund, which is a medical reimbursement fund. So that's going to reduce that 2.5 by about 20-some% by me pulling out the front of the court portion and getting reimbursement from the Fed. So I would argue, as far as my overall budget, I've reduced it. So if you take that section, and that's not going to be realized again by the county because that's going to be totally reimbursed by federal funds if that upgrade goes through.
Thank you, Brian. Commissioner Ha?
Oh, almost had a chance to hit the button.
Almost. Go ahead.
Brian, you heard my question to Chief Judge Burnett. Same question to you.
So for the child support specialty court, that is only affiliated with felony child support. So my federal funding is very restricted. I cannot participate in fundings, and the prosecutors is restricted not to participate in civil. What we can do is cooperate. My involvement would be identifying cases that would qualify and providing the information to the prosecutor's office for prosecution. We cannot assist or use our funds for arrest, for prosecution, or anything involved with that program. But what will happen is we're kind of intertwined because it's the same judges, the same people that are in the front of the court for civil matters going to be there. There's a synergistic effect. People are afraid to get felonies, so they're going to be more inclined to come in and see us. And we do have a program called GEMS, Gain Employment Maintain Support, that the state is rolling out, and we're going to contact them. We had not originally been selected as a county, but I think if I reach out to them, we may be able to qualify for that. And that's going to repeat some of those services or gaps that maybe you don't get hit in the specialty court. Maybe we can pick that up in the civil division.
Is that a grant program or just a state program?
That's a state program. That is not a federal. That's a state program.
So they don't supply funding if?
They might provide minor funding for it if we participate. And a lot of these programs are really ran through Michigan Works. And the question is when we talk about all these services, does Michigan Works really have the ability to provide the support that I think they're alluding to? And I think that's a valid question we all have to ask.
Right. Well, one of the goals that we're really attempting to accomplish with this budget is to move individual departments out of their silos And you had just indicated you've got a spirit of cooperation working with the prosecutor's office. We want to amplify that and support that in any way we can. So thank you. That's all I have, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Howard.
Thanks, Chair. Just to clarify, earlier you had mentioned prior to Commissioner Hall's question about adding 8 courtrooms for the specialty court that we were talking about. That's in the capital. Did I
No, that's
misunderstand
how
that?
many hearing rooms I have now for my referees. Those are existing hearing rooms, and that 2.5 million project is to upgrade all courtrooms in the county. That would be juvenile referees. Yeah, the electronic, friend of the court referees and the courtrooms. So they're all unified. Those are existing hearing rooms I have already for my referees. That's an upgrade, that's gonna apply to all hearing rooms in the court system.
Okay, and then the expected cost for a potentially new court administrator for the court that Commissioner Hall was talking about, do we know when that might come in front of us or how much that might be as a pending future cost?
Well, so we have Christina Wolfield is, she is the director of the specialty courts, and then under her, there's a coordinator for mental health court, drug court, sobriety court, veterans court, and what they overlap, but do you know generally what they are paid?
Susan? Yes.
So specialty court coordinator is under the maximum salary of 91,000, and then you would add in benefits too. So I'm guessing 140 maybe.
Okay, and do you know when that might come before us?
That would.
I mean, we're hoping to pilot this a little, like for the year and then ask in the next budget cycle.
Okay. Because I just remember when the commissioners went through the budget cycle last year, I think it was the next full board meeting or next committee meeting, like people were asking for budget amendments. And so I'm just thinking ahead of that, trying to prevent that because
We are hopeful we can handle it for the first year with the staff we have to see what the load will look like.
Okay.
And then come back on our next budget if it's a successful
Because this
program.
is something completely new. It doesn't exist.
Right.
And we're also hoping for grant money in the future. If it's successful, we're hoping to get some movement on some creating grants for this program. So.
Yeah, this will be the first court of its nature in the state of Michigan, and maybe, I don't know if in the United States, possibly.
Great. Last question. Sorry, and I didn't catch everybody's name, but there was talking about the federal funding reimbursements. Is there a time frame to those reimbursements? You know, if the county expensive funds, does the federal government have X amount of days to return it? Because there were some situations with Michigan schools that lost about $7 million for federal reimbursements that were never reimbursed.
I have to submit that to the federal government by May 1st. So right now, we haven't selected, so I have to have very specific billing that very specifically bills out every piece of technology that would be an upgrade in my hearing rooms. If that's not done by May 1st, I cannot put it in this budget cycle and have to go another year down the road. If we wanted to move forward with those upgrades, that means that would roll back into the IT budget, so I would need it by May 1st.
Thank you. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Chair Sabatini.
Thanks, Chair. Brian, just a couple of quick questions. So kind of going back to your initial statement about the AV technology upgrade. So the $607,400 that you have in your capital outlay, would that go against the 2.5 million? So the true cost is actually less than the 2.5 million?
I believe that's my portion of the 2.5.
Just making sure.
It's broken out on the capital plan, and that between the two funding sources, we have the grants as 575,000. So then it'd basically be the 1.9
Okay.
for
So
general fund.
Got it,
But since
got
it's
it.
tied to a grant, again, it's in his budget.
So then where is the grant revenue for the 575 in this budget?
So as far as that, I'm gonna pull out for that. So
I don't
there's
see it
one
in your,
line.
I don't see it in
part-
your revenue anywhere. That's why I'm asking. Your revenue is basically this almost, it's very, very similar to what it was the previous year. So should we be budgeting the 575 in revenue in your budget if that's going to be your portion of that total tab?
And Susan, can you help me out with that?
I think that we did.
Yeah, and I think we reduced some things.
The prior year revenue fund balance, I don't know if that's on the roll up.
Is it because?
Reduce some of the positions and contract services.
You can just work with finance. I
Yeah,
just
I
noticed it
see how
because
they
I was
did
just
it
trying to
on here.
decipher the difference there and where the revenue was.
So
I totally
basically-
see the breakout for the technology upgrade. I just didn't see the revenue side of it, so.
Part of it would be a fund balance issue, and then part of it would just come right into the intergovernmental because it would be charged to the grant as a reimbursement issue from the grant. So the 4D would have gone up under intergovernmental.
And you'll see a new line item down in net increase, decrease fund balance. You'll see the 233, that's that 35% that I've.
Okay, so it's built into the
other fund.
intergovernmental line item is where it
The
is.
the part he's gonna bill to the grant.
Okay, got it. And then last question I've got here is just the medical incentive program, the half FT, based on that position, which was, I believe, a part-time family court counsel that you've eliminated. Why has that been eliminated?
So that position was created when the former chief referee, Mr. Elias, retired and was rehired to provide mediation services for the family judges. Last year, this board generously provided funding for another referee, a new chief referee, and that referee now has assumed those roles, and that would be redundant. So I now have someone else providing those mediation services, and I think it's just fiscally responsible to eliminate that. It's not needed.
So we cut a position, we're gonna do the exact same amount of work with the same resources. It's basically what you're saying.
Well, I have a full-time, I have another additional referee last year. This board gave me another full-time referee. So that's
where's
now a full-time
that
person.
in the budget? Is that on, because in the medical incentive program, I show a half an FTE there, but your expenditures for services there are $732,500. So how are we?
That's the fund balance. Is that not correct, Susan? That's the new line item that we put in there.
Going on.
Yeah.
So.
Just doesn't make sense to me, so I just
Yeah.
need an explanation.
The positions that you were seeing in the medical incentive program, they actually were not filled for a while. And that is like a contained fund, so the money goes in there, use it for these things, and then if you don't use it, there's a fund balance that's carried forward.
Okay.
So that wasn't being used for a while. The new referee that you gave them last year is up in, I think it's under administration.
Okay.
So it's not even in that medical incentive.
Right.
So you're not gonna see it in the same place. And he's saying that because you gave him a full-time new referee, we don't need that part-time
Right, we didn't, yeah,
mediator
that's not being
anymore.
paid out of that fund. That's
Yeah.
being paid out of.
Okay, I just don't see it on the position type and how it's broken out. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because the only increase last year that I see was one FTE, and I see it in co-op reimbursement and professional support. If that's what it is,
Referees.
and then I see a clerical and Act 215 fund.
You should have an increase in the referees
Finance?
by one referee.
For referee is professional support?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So under the cooperative reimbursement, the professional support went from 10 to 11 last year. From
So-
24 to 25.
So basically, that referee is doing, beyond the medical incentive program, they're doing other things, but still supporting that program. So how you basically reorganized it.
Right, so it used to be the chief referee. I was previously the chief referee before I became the friend.
Okay.
I had a full docket. When you're litigating a full docket, it makes it very difficult to do all of the administrative and supervision, specifically over my enforcement departments, and provide those services such as mediation. Because I have another referee, the chief referee no longer has a docket. So their primary function is supervision and providing those mediation services that were encompassed by that position.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. Commissioner Hahn, the second round.
No, I just wanted to thank Commissioner Howard for forward thinking on that child support issue. But the understanding needs to be, none of us know what resources are going to be required here. I do believe this takes legislative approval even to establish a specialty court. So we didn't want to get too far ahead on this particular issue until we've had the opportunity to sit down and talk about the resources that are required. This has not been established yet. It's a proposal, it's a pilot program. We're all in total support of it. We've talked individually to the judges, obviously, the prosecutor's office, with Brian's office. There's a huge committee. I think we're at pretty close to 20 people in the room. We've invited the clerk's office into the room now to talk about how to move this forward. So I appreciate the dialogue about what it's going to take to move forward, but we're not even there yet with who needs to be participants in order to make it work. So I agree with you. Our attempt at the pilot program is to use the current resources until we see if that's sufficient or not sufficient enough. Question for you, Brian. I looked in the sheriff's budget, and we have talked about this. He had 2 sheriffs dedicated to the front of the court. Are those still in your budget?
We still have 2 in there, yeah.
You still
So
have
when you
them.
look at that line item, you see it was 480. What was realized was 249.
Right.
And now I've reduced it to that by getting rid of those positions that weren't being used.
Great to hear, because we're sure going to get an opportunity to have him use them somewhere else. So I appreciate
And,
that.
you know, I talked to Liz Dargan, the sheriff, before I got rid of those positions. That was totally something that they were on board with. So I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't discussed it with them as well.
We certainly know it's a rarity anywhere for somebody to give resources back. And like I said, we're trying to take the silos down, so we're all working on the same objective of making Macomb as best we can for everybody. So thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate that personally. That's all I have, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. All right, I see no other speakers, so we are all set. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Juvenile court still, so you might want to wait.
Yeah, Chief,
Oh,
you
okay.
can't leave yet.
I was about to leave.
We'll move on to the Childcare Fund.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
Can we do juvenile court first?
Yeah, we can do juvenile court first. Let's go to juvenile court first. Go to
We can get him out of here.
budget page C44. We'll start on C44, then we'll go to page D2. So we'll start C44. Nicole's coming up. Any highlights for us, Nicole?
Just like circuit court and district court, we asked for an increase, a small increase. We're seeing costs go up for interpreters, also demand for defense attorneys, for expert witnesses, and then some increased costs related to postage and for subpoenas and summons. We aren't asking for any positions in this budget.
Thanks, Nicole. Commissioners, I'll give you a second since I'm bouncing around a little bit off schedule. Any questions on C26? Chair Sabatini.
So those increases, I see supplies and services going up about 120,000, and then contract services going up 20,000. Is the interpreters and the contract services?
Yes.
Okay. And that's one additional, or?
It's, we have there's a litany of interpreting services that we use. So it's just a contract and we just pay fee for service.
Okay, got it. And then the supplies and services, can you tell me, again, I'm sorry, I know you just highlighted
That's
that
okay.
a second ago, but Commissioner Kraft's going so fast today.
And we appreciate that.
Yes, we do. Under the supplies and services, that's where we have defense attorneys, expert witnesses, and subpoenas and summons.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Good time now.
Now I gotta slow down. The chair's telling me I'm moving way too fast. Are there any other commissioners with questions on page C44? I don't see any, so we'll move on to page D2. Nicole, any highlights there?
Not really. We we haven't asked for any staff in this or really anything additional. We were able to move a portion of our finance manager's salary into the childcare fund. That would be a savings to the general fund, but nothing additional.
Thanks, Nicole. Commissioners, any questions? Okay, all set.
Thank you.
For real this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we'll jump back to, in the Child Care Fund, the Department of Human Services, which is going to be budget page C26. Tashara is here. Did I say your name right, Tashara? Am I close?
Actually, Tashara is no longer the county director. I'm the new one.
So I'm not even close.
That's okay, close enough.
Welcome to my world.
My name is Francesca Vega, and I'm the new county director for Macomb County.
Francesca.
Replacing
Nice
Tashara.
Nice to meet you.
all.
Thank you for
And
coming
this is
today.
My district manager, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Kara Opelko. I'm the district manager.
Thank you both for coming. If there's any highlights you want to present, go ahead.
We don't have any highlights at all. It looks like everything is pretty much the same as last year, so that's the updates we have for you all, judge and commissioners.
We are on page C26, Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
I'll give commissioners a second to catch up. Okay, seeing no questions for page C26, we'll jump to page D2, which we were just at. Jump right back to it. Any highlights on this?
No, sir.
Page? Commissioners? Commissioner Ha.
Thank you, Chair. Real quickly, under juvenile court programs, it has intensive probation, detention, diversion, tether program, and sexually reactive youth treatment programs. They were all on the budget in 2024, not in 2025. Did they transfer somewhere?
Yes.
Here
It
she
all,
comes
when
again.
those juvenile justice reform changes happen, we consolidated everything under what's now called community-based services. So it's the same staffing and everything, it's just combined into one cost center.
So all those programs plus others are under what?
Community-based services?
Community-based services. Thank you.
Yes.
That's all I have, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Any questions on the DHS placements line on this page? All right, I see none. Thank you both for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Oh, wait, hold on one second. Chair Sabatini.
Just on page, we're on D1, right? Or D2?
D2.
They're really the same.
Yeah.
So transfers in from the general fund here in the last 3 years, it's doubled. Why are we having to double our general fund contributions? Is it specific to these programs? Have the matches changed? What's facilitating the double increase?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm trying to follow that on D2.
It's actually on D1. It's a line, it's transfers in from general funds, so we're contributing over $10 million in general fund dollars to this fund.
Yeah, I don't think D1 is.
Yeah,
for-
DHS has a very
Yeah, we're-
small portion of this. Vicky,
Oh, it
go
is?
ahead.
Okay.
Jump in.
I'm sorry.
No, you're
Okay.
Hello, so our, if you're looking at going from 2023 actual column, we can go back and research it, but, in looking at the numbers there, it is low, but we think some of that may be from having the two separate ERP programs between One Solution and what we had in, Workday. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that number, because if you go 24, and Dave says too, prior to 2023, the number has not been that low. So we'll
Got
take
it.
a look at
Thank
that.
you.
Vicky Nicole's going to jump in behind you, too.
I know what it
Okay.
is.
Go ahead, Nicole. Yep.
With the childcare fund changes that happened last year, we were able to transfer in all of our probation staff and some managers and an administrator into the childcare fund.
Okay.
So it would have reduced our general fund and then popped up there. So you're getting 75% reimbursement from the Childcare Fund, but that did increase the general fund contribution to the Childcare Fund because I believe we moved 23 positions into the Childcare Fund from the general fund.
So we moved them here. We moved them into this.
Yes.
My mic went off here. So we moved them into this childcare fund. And what fund were they in previous?
The Juvenile Court General Fund, whatever, what C44, that would be your budget page. They were originally in that budget.
So if I go back to page C44,
Oh, now Diana's correcting me.
No, I think we do have to, we have to check those numbers. I don't think that could be a disconnect between the systems, because I can't see it going up.
yeah, because that's only $1 million in savings there
Yeah.
for general fund. So we're off about 4 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Out of the general fund
Yeah,
into the
so
Childcare
he's
Fund.
talking about
Oh,
this
that one.
increase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Everyone's shaking their heads, so yes, I know we'll get an answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have one last question for you. With your actual, it's DHS placements, private institutions, that's your line item, correct?
Yes.
Why the pretty intense fluctuation from 2023 was 716,000, then it jumped up to 2 million, and then it kind of baselines at 1.7. Is that state budget related? How does that number come to be?
I would say because of residential kids.
Yeah, I think it's because of our youth is placed in residential. I know there's been a lot of work around that. So since we've had an increase statewide, not specifically for Macomb, I want to say that's where that money is kind of going to the direction. Yes. Anything, Kara, did you?
No, just the cost as far as children placed in our child caring institutions is more than a general foster home, so that's probably where that jump is.
Got it. Thank you. Okay. Now you're all set.
Okay, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you all.
Commissioners, now we'll move on to Juvenile Justice, which is still on pages D1 and 2. Rhonda? All right, we've purged everything else out, so now it's all you on these 2 pages. Take it away, Rhonda.
Well, I'm happy to be here and answer any questions, specific questions that you have.
Commissioners, any Juvenile Justice specific questions from these 2 pages? JJC related? I don't see any. Okay. Rhonda, I think we're good.
All right, well, thank you so much. Nice seeing everyone.
Good to see you, Rhonda. Thank you. All right, we will move on to item D, Probation Circuit Court, which is going to be budget page C49 in your books. Is Damon here, or is anyone here to present on this page?
Is there anything to present?
Nobody's jumping up.
There you go. Nothing to present.
Pretty easy budget.
Yep.
Commissioners, any questions on this one? I don't see any. All right, we'll move on to the Public Defender's Office, which is item E. Special Revenue Fund, page D33. This is Aaron's first time. Aaron, are there any highlights you want to present to us?
Good afternoon. No specific highlights. I'm prepared for any questions that you may have, other than we are working to get our office fully staffed. As you know, it was established in 2020, and we've been slowly working towards that goal.
Thank you, Aaron. Commissioner Howard.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Just looking at your line items, like supplies and services were in 2024 was $5 million, then it jumped to $10 million, and now it's dropping, which is great. But I'm just curious on why that's a huge fluctuation.
It is a huge fluctuation, and that comes from the adoption of the standards that the state has set forth for us. One of those standards was attorney compensation, and it completely revamped the way that attorneys that contract with our office are paid. Instead of being paid flat fees for certain instances, they were paid hourly. And that happened in 2024, and none of us really knew what that would cost. So the state afforded us a grant that would make sure that we were able to cover whatever those costs were. But as we learn what the costs are, they are supposed to slowly come down, which they are doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Chair Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Aaron.
Hi.
Can you talk about the one FTE, the manager supervisor line item? Why you're looking for an additional staff member there?
Yes, as part of our grant reporting, our grant reporting has changed as the standards have changed. Once they are all enacted, then we are required to report certain things on a quarterly basis to the state as well as on a yearly basis. And the amount of data that the state is asking for is great. So that is a position to help administer that, make sure that we have the data that we need to report, gathering and compiling that and keeping up with those requirements.
So how is that being handled right now?
Right now, I'm doing it.
Oh. Welcome to the new role, huh?
Thank you.
So, I didn't look here in the back of the book specifically with this position, but what is the comp on this position, and what's it going to be called?
It is it's supposed to be called an chief administrator for administration, I believe. Let me just look through here. Yeah, it's a deputy chief administrator.
So it's a deputy position?
Yes.
So, it seems, just looking at this, it seems like a pretty big position for someone to be doing grant, basically reconciliations to the state specifically for that purpose, based on the comp rate and what you're looking for here.
So another part.
Is there anyone else than finance or someone in the administration part of the budget that can do that?
That part I don't know. I can tell you that that role would also oversee, one of the standards that the state requires is that we make sure that attorneys that represent Indigenous people are qualified and that they are also complying with the standards that the state has set forth. So that role would also oversee what we have now is a compliance attorney that reviews each attorney within our system must be reviewed on at least a 3-year basis or as needed throughout, as needed if a special review is needed. The public or anyone can refer to our office and say, hey, I have concerns about the quality of representation or whether or not this attorney is qualified to handle this type of case, and we would review that. So that person will also oversee and assist with that in making sure that we review approximately 200 attorneys every 3 years.
Is this position, being that it's a deputy position, specific to any state requirements that we must have that position?
The state does not require that we have that position, no.
Theoretically, then, we're going to be spending general fund dollars for this position?
No.
No?
No.
Andy? No?
Can
you explain, Andy? You're getting back up here, so I'm just trying to understand.
I'm terribly sorry, Commissioner, and I did not want to jump on Aaron's coattails. No. This is a deputy director position, theoretically, and it's something that Tom had been considering prior to him transitioning out, and I believe Aaron may continue to move in that direction. Those are decisions that she'll have the ability to make as we walk into the new year. The entirety of this budget is grant funded, so all of the personnel costs are grant funded, including Commissioner Howard, the numbers that you were talking about. So it's great for the state that they may save some money, but we don't save any money when that dollar figure goes down because this is a grant funded budget.
So in regards to the general fund, basically comp, I know it's a match for something we have to contribute to this fund, don't get me wrong. What is that specific to? Is it specific to the operations? If it's not, what specifically in this budget are we mandated to spend $2.2 million for?
So I was actually just having that conversation with Dave Steitler and Vicky here and back. If I may get back to you on that, I believe a large portion is our local share, which we've always contributed from the county circuit court, which was revenue collected through indigent clients who were able to scrape some money together and reimburse the court. The other piece may be those internal services fees that are sort of a pass-through. I think you understand that even better than I do, because I still quite don't understand
It's
that.
that
So
statistical format
give you
that we
maybe
use.
an idea. The county's general share, as a condition of the state funding these grants, was based on what the county traditionally spent on indigent defense.
Okay.
And that has been calculated, and then it increases on a yearly basis based on cost of living type increases. But the county is required to spend what they traditionally spent in order to get the additional money they need to comply with state mandates.
Okay. So in the last 3 years, that increase has been about $700,000. At least, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong line here. Nope, $700,000. That's what the increase has been year over year. It just seems like a huge jump.
Are you looking at,
I'm just looking at transfers in. So we went from basically 1.45 million in 23 to this year's 2.253.
Commissioner, may we get that
Yeah,
information?
yeah, that's fine. You
That
can
would
get,
be
'cause I'm just
fantastic.
looking at it because even in 22 it was 1.1 million, so it's doubled in 4 years. And if we're following suit based on what the state is telling us, I mean, I wish our revenue could jump that much and we could mandate it. That just seems like far-fetched.
Just as a point too, is when you're looking at 23 and 24, that's actuals. So keep in mind, as you're looking at the budget, we have to provide that mix. So there is a great likelihood, and as Dave had said to me, that they never spend all their dollars in a given year. So the transfer in obviously is reduced to match what they actually spent in a given year. So you're looking at a budget based on a budget submitted for everything that office thinks they're gonna operate. Don't generally always spend it, so it should go down.
Got
If
it.
that stays true, if that makes sense as well.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. Commissioner Goike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All right, back on that same number though, when you budget that much for it, so that's gonna be, we're figuring that money to come out of our general fund, and if it's not spent, what happens to that? Does that stay into, extra revenue at the end of the year? So, for a fund balance of what's actually in there then?
No, it rolls into the general fund. It stays in the general fund.
It stays into it
Fund
then.
balance.
So that, because it wasn't
Overall.
spent, but we're, kind of it's almost like a placeholder. We're putting
Correct.
enough money into it to cover it, but then it will stay in the general fund, not spent.
Yes.
That's what, it's like, I've dealt with embezzlement things before, and that's kind of like what I'm looking, it's like, something's placed out and you're not spending it, where does it stay?
Goes
That's
into the
per-
fund
thank
balance.
you.
Yep.
Thanks, Commissioner. All right, I see no other speakers. Aaron, great job. Thank you for your patience. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And with that, Commissioners, we have a motion to receive and file all the budget reviews from today. Please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. Next is correspondence. I'll take a motion to receive and file the MDHHS letter. Motion from Commissioner Romano.
Support, Zinner.
Support from Commissioner Zinner. See no comments on the letter. Commissioners, please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. Item 8 is public participation. Anybody from the public wishing to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any issue is welcome to the podium. Anybody from public participation? All right, seeing none, we will close public participation, move on to commissioners' comments. Commissioners, any comments today?
Bill, it's not working. But.
Commissioner Howard.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to very briefly. It was just a really cool experience that happened this Friday. We had a trunk or treat event, and we were able to work with a food pantry to give out 300 meals, and that's what we were anticipating. But the need was so great, they ended up giving out 526 meals that were feed a family. And after the event, we were anticipating 200 people. We had almost 2,000 people show up, and so I just went to thank them, and they turned around and said, "Actually, we have to thank you because the county funds our food bank, and so the meals we gave away was actually through funds appropriated through the county." I had no clue because I wasn't the person that invited them, but it was just really cool as we're going through this budgeting process to physically see what we're spending money on and how it has a direct impact on the families in our districts. So it was just, thank you guys for supporting food pantries.
Thank you, Commissioner. One of the perks to being more local than being at the state and the federal level, I guess, some days. Commissioners, no more comments.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn from Commissioner Romano.
Support.
Support from Commissioner Howard. Please vote. We're adjourned. See y'all Wednesday.